Welcome back to the One2Many podcast.
Where we've got one too many opinions, one too many voices, and just enough noise.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Bryce.
Today, we're going to get into it. So, just kind of go over last week a little bit. I really haven't done too much myself. We're currently carpooling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Having a handful of car trouble. Got a big trip coming up, and of course everything is going wrong all at once.
Yeah.
And just making a mad dash trying to get a little Ford Focus ready for a 6-hour trip.
The most interesting thing about having car troubles, I think, in 2026 is you might be technically spending a little less money because of the gas prices. You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah. I've been carpooling for 2 weeks. I haven't put money towards the $4+ gas out there.
Yeah, so, but I mean, it is unfortunate. We're trying to get that resolved, so if you're watching along, thoughts for Bryce and his red Ford Focus.
Thoughts and prayers for my Ford Focus.
That being said, we're actually filming this episode a little bit later in our week than we wanted to. We got a later watch on Incredible Hulk than we wanted to, which we're about to get in the review for that. And I know you've just got a really busy week coming up ahead of this. So I feel like editing is going to be a slog for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a little weird. So I'm not sure exactly what day this is going to fall on when it comes out.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get it out regardless.
Yeah. I mean,
so it may be a little weird time-wise.
Yeah, and whether it falls on our normal day of Wednesday or a day or two after, the most important thing is we're always trying to hit that weekly post now. That's the goal. And then our clips on other platforms. So, if you watch the podcast, if you find us by chance on YouTube or you find us because of the content you see on other platforms like Instagram or TikTok.
YouTube Shorts.
All
the middle schoolers out there.
If you are seeing our content wherever you are, definitely we hope you'll come and see us on the actual podcast on the YouTube channel. And feel free to post clips of us, share those clips, do whatever you want with them. We genuinely don't really care. All of our stuff is pretty much set to reuse, I think, on TikTok and everything. So if you disagree or, just want to talk to us, please feel free. But besides that, I kind of just want to get right into it. So, Iron Man review last week.
Yeah. Iron Man was good.
Yeah, Iron Man was great.
First step into the MCU proper for me.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that first step for a character who I didn't really have any attachment to for the longest time.
I don't think you had the respect. I think you respect Robert Downey Jr. and what Iron Man means to the MCU, but I don't think it's because you had any stock in the character. You had stock in he's important. I know that.
Oh yeah. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
for me with Benedict Cumberbatch, great Sherlock. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. also great Sherlock.
Yeah,
they both have played Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know. That's just such a weird overlap for fiction. But with the Iron Man review, we ran that long. We did what we're referring to as a play-by-play on that one, and that format will return for other movies. Probably for new releases.
Yeah.
And for things
new releases that we can both catch, and then there's a lot of new stuff to go over for both of us.
Yeah, the thing about it is when we were really getting into wanting to do the reviews for the MCU movies, my thought process was a lot of these movies haven't been talked about on a platform in depth in a long time.
Yeah.
Nobody's really doing that anymore. People were talking about the latest releases, what's actually going on, right? So I thought it would be cool to get an in-depth review of these movies in 2026. But in doing so, I realized, again, how long that ran, the play-by-play, for a movie that people have if you're seeing this podcast and you enjoy this stuff.
If you're not me, you've seen Iron Man.
You've probably already seen it. So, hello, dog. So I just don't think it's necessary, especially not going forward with movies that you guys have seen, I've seen. So we're just going to be shortening that up a little bit with this Hulk review. It's still going to be in-depth. We still want to talk about what we find really interesting with the movie, actor portrayals and things like that. But it's not going to be a play-by-play. We're going to hit major points, things we care about, and we may stop on important scenes or things we really like to talk about.
Or tangents about things that really annoy us.
But it just gives us more time to talk about stuff that were really cool, that we thought was really cool. getting into the actual Hulk review.
Second movie in the MCU for me. Of course, we're going to talk a lot about it and then get it put into my list and the rankings. Iron Man flew in pretty high. Flew in little thrusters.
Yeah.
He flew in pretty high in A tier.
Yeah.
I can't promise this is going to fly quite as high. I've got a short list of things I liked in this movie. Yeah. Some that I don't know if they'll be like a hot take or not, but some things I did like I want to talk about.
I'm not going to even like come at this like, I hate this movie. I think this movie is terrible. So I'm not going to come at it with like any sort of like optimism. Like I'll be very honest. Like I think The Incredible Hulk in of itself is a bad movie even for then. Like even not if you didn't know Edward Norton wasn't going to return, which we made our jokes last time. Ooh, I can't wait to see Mark Ruffalo be the Hulk.
Dude, yeah, I'm like 10 minutes into this movie. I'm just like looking at this like little scrawny ass kid. Where's Mark Ruffalo? Where's the Hulk?
Dude, I don't know. Like even knowing what we know now with Edward Norton never returning and that, how that goes.
I know the story. I know the story of Terrence Howard not returning to Iron Man was
cool. Yeah, I'll talk about it. No, yeah.
Is this homeboy also like a payment thing? Like he wasn't getting paid enough, or
no? There's two sides to it. All right, so we'll get into it here after we. So with the Hulk, the intro sequence is off. Literally to open this movie. You get what feels like a 10-minute just lore dump, but none of it is verbal. It's just like all through like almost like a hallucinogenic like flashback montage.
At first, I didn't think I was super going to hate that intro bit because it really reminded me of like those like the Spider-Man 1 like kind of flashing through like the webs and like seeing like the opening credits there. And I almost didn't mind like I liked like the green. It felt like super like like that early 2000s like grunge a little bit where it was like like I could get into this like like a good like Spider-Man thing. But like you said, a lot of exposition for stuff that I was confused about.
Things that we literally revisit in the movie later. Yeah. And it's not. There was no reason to give us the opening credits in that way.
It made me
opening credits should have been because the movie starts, we get those credits, right? Mm-hmm. And it starts with him, it's 158 days or something since his last incident, right? Which I don't know if you want to interpret that as the first incident or maybe the last one since he escaped and got to the country he's in to get away. But either way, that whole exposition they gave at the beginning, if they were going to do several flashbacks later on or, several points in time where they talk about what had happened, I just don't feel like you needed to stretch that out as long as you did. Instead, what I would have done is shown in that little bit, that opening sequence, maybe like him escaping. The things that we don't actually see and that aren't really talked about in the movie. Because I think Ross says he's evaded capture for 5 years, which is like, what? So just show us like him like running from them or doing some stuff. I don't know. In that opening, I to fulfill the idea of him being a wanted man. Because the way that the movie opens doesn't sell that. And again, I just don't like the opening.
The opening had me a little confused at first because I wasn't positive if the stuff they were showing us had already happened or if this was just one of those like, oh, this is what the movie's going to be thing.
Yeah.
I figured that The Incredible Hulk was going to be an origin story because we're still very early in the MCU right now.
Well, and it's like I told you before, right? Like, I'm an origin story merchant. I think the origin story...
Which I am too. I usually like origin stories.
It's the most important thing. It's foundational for a superhero. I think that in of itself, like, the amount of people that have read the number 1 in a comic line versus the people that read number 41, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gets familiar with the character's origin. Like, it's so much so with, like, Batman, where people say they don't want any more origin movies because it's so played out, and we know.
And then we said that with Spider-Man.
But this is in
and then people kind of, like, were like, oh, like, people can make a connection because he didn't have the origin story. And we had to redo an origin story in No Way Home.
This is 2008, right? The Incredible Hulk, while a big... I mean, it's a super... You could have done the origin story. You could have done the whole origin story. And it would have been... I figured
that's what the first handful of MCU films were going to be, was origins.
No. I mean, and here's what the worst part is. This is the only one that's not. For the Avengers,
until like Homecoming.
No, so spoiler. Now, when I say it's the only one that's not, I mean leading into the Avengers movie. So Iron Man, that's obviously an origin story. Iron Man 2 is a sequel. So I'm just saying, like, for all the characters that we're supposed to get in Avengers, you know, in their standalone movies, this is the one that's not an origin story. Iron Man's an origin story. Thor's an origin story. Captain America is an origin story. And, of course, we get Iron Man 2 as well. But the first movie for this Incredible Hulk is not an origin story. It's not. He's already the Hulk. He's already working towards and figuring out how to cope with being the Hulk. And I don't know why narratively you would want to do that. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me. So to break into the actual movie, right? So again, this is not an origin story. Edward Norton is picking up our Bruce Banner, our Hulk, as a not seasoned Hulk, because he's still denying the Hulk. Like in his dialogue that he has partway in the movie with Betty Ross, which is Colonel Ross's daughter and his love interest throughout the movie, who's played by the fantastic Liv Tyler. She's amazing. She's Eowyn in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It took me a good bit into the movie.
Fantastic, amazing actress.
It took me a while of just like looking at her and like, I know your face. I know you. Yeah. I had to Google during the movie. I was like, oh my God, it's Eowyn.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Lord of the Rings, she's like...
which is why her face was still fresh in my mind, because that was only like a year ago.
Yeah, so love Liv Tyler. It's honestly a shame, and we'll get into this once I really start talking about actor portrayals, but Edward Norton blowing up the Incredible Hulk and kind of spinning the Hulk out of the limelight for the MCU. Honestly, the biggest crime about that is that we don't get more Liv Tyler. I'm going to be for real.
I was so weirded out initially once we were really getting into the film and just being like, obviously I haven't seen Avengers. I don't know if this character resurfaces. I do know that I'm pretty sure like Bruce and Scarlett Johansson have like a thing.
And Black Widow,
but I was like, I don't know what happens to her then.
So, I mean, this is kind of an interesting thing. She doesn't come back. She's
off screen.
This is it. And I don't know if maybe she only wanted to be present for one movie. I feel like, knowing Marvel, they probably approached her, being like, do you want to come back? But honestly, and again, I'm going to get into this when we talk about the actors, but I feel like there's probably just more to the story with maybe how the movie was filmed.
Yeah.
So in the case of The Incredible Hulk, I think that the direction was poor. I think the choice of like when this movie is set in the Hulk's timeline is poor. I don't necessarily love the portrayal for Bruce Banner and like how they write Banner.
I will say, when I'm watching this Bruce Banner, it does not feel... Obviously, it's a different actor between like now and the Bruce Banner we get in Avengers. This Bruce Banner doesn't even feel like he would be that Bruce in Avengers. No. He doesn't feel like the same level of like smarts or scientists that like Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner. They're
totally different characters, but this movie is still supposed to be canonical.
Which is why I'm so weirded out, because it's like you don't even feel like you fit alongside these guys.
No. And I think they had to, like, just really honestly scrap a lot of the things they try and establish in this movie just to make the Hulk interesting later on. Because, I'll be honest, with this movie, where this movie takes place in, like, this Hulk's character timeline is, again, this is kind of like a seasoned Bruce Banner as far as having to deal with the Hulk's outbursts. So, like, the Hulk is already at a point where, like, he's tempered. Right? Because when he sees Betty for the first time, the Hulk can control himself. He can temper it. And with Bruce, he's already learning how to keep these episodes suppressed. He wears a heart rate monitor all the time so that he knows when he's getting close to maybe an outburst, right?
Of the things in this movie that I have a short list of likes for, one of the things I did like in the opening sequence is that trying to manage the temperaments thing.
I'm fine with it.
While it was like, a little bit, goofy at times with like the instructor and doing like the breathing exercises, I like the idea of that because I like that it came up later during like, the chase scene.
Yes.
And he's trying to bring it back down when it's like...
All of that is good. Show us getting to him wanting to learn. Like, again, this is what makes the origin story so important, right? Is because if you're watching this movie for the first time, right, and you know nothing about the Incredible Hulk, nothing, here you go, dog. She clip clopping. If you know nothing about the Incredible Hulk, I feel that watching this movie gives you the interpretation that it's not that bad, right? Yeah. Because like there is a scene where he's intimate with Betty, and he's like, I can't get too excited. And like, damn, bro, that sucks. Because
with Eowyn, too.
That's Eowyn, bro.
Fuck.
But, so, again, though, like, he's handling it well. Like, he already has kind of a grapple on, like, if people would stop fucking with bro, there'd be no problem. Like,
that's one thing.
He's working in a factory, and these dickheads, like, smack him and, like, pick on him and stuff, and he holds it in.
All these guys hate him, harass him. The government hates him. And that's one thing that, like, while I haven't watched this movie, I do remember the original, like, Hulk movie. Because the Lou Ferrigno stuff is a series, yeah?
Yeah.
I remember most of the Hulk movie, actually, that comes before this one. Because my dad watched it. I watched it kind of just alongside my dad. So I remember that Hulk and some of the stuff that happened in there. And between that and this, I'm just like, dude, they fucking hate this guy. I don't know what he did to piss this guy off so bad.
Yeah, it's really just Ross, you know? And I mean...
Yeah. So I was like, how do we get from, like, here to being an Avenger? When are you going to let
I don't like the intro of the movie. Again, another reason I don't like the intro is because it almost gives you the idea that Ross is upset and wants the Hulk brought in because he hurt Betty and in his initial transformation. And that's just not the case. Ross could not care less about what happened to Betty. He's not a good father. They have that dialogue through the movie that she's like, you're a terrible person. And he's like, go away.
You're lucky I don't put you in the handcuffs.
Yeah, like, he sucks. Which is just wild because, like, not only does, like, Iron Man paint the American military as not the greatest, and just, like, the military, like, industrial complex and, like, weapons supplying paints all of that in a bad light. Incredible Hulk also paints the American military in a bad light. So it's just really funny to see this early part of the MCU is very critical of just, like, war in general and, like, what we do to kind of prop that machine up. But, again, so what we're really talking about here is just, like, it's a weird spot for the Hulk to start in. And the problem I have isn't so much with that part of the character, because I think that that is an interesting thing to tell, right? About Bruce Banner getting the Hulk under control and then becoming a Banner that is capable of utilizing the Hulk, right? Beginning to coexist with it. That's a great part of the Hulk's character in several comics lines, and it's, you know, ultimately kind of where we ended up in the MCU. But
yeah, with Smart Hulk.
This is where, like, if we continued with this Edward Norton thing, Hulk would have ceased to be a rampaging beast almost immediately, which is pretty freaking important for the character. Like,
I'd say pretty important to where the Hulk is now in the MCU too, because, like, obviously I haven't seen the first couple Avengers movies, but the first Hulk that I get post my entry point into the MCU, which is, you know, post Civil War, he's not present in Civil War, is he? He's not even. Hulk? Is he even there?
No, he's not.
And so my first, like, proper movie with him is Infinity War, where Hulk gets benched instantly, doesn't come back.
That is a crazy thing for you to just see the first time. You literally see Hulk get his shit rocked, and then you're just like,
and he gets benched, doesn't come back, you know, until technically like a deleted scene of Infinity War. Now, then you have Smart Hulk in Endgame, and people talk a lot about, like, oh, the Russo brothers just don't like Hulk. They just don't like him. And now, like, even where he's been at, from what I've heard of his appearance in, like, the She-Hulk show, he's still not doing that much.
Well, at this point, it's like, the damage is done. I think you just kind of know with, like, Edward Norton's Hulk existing and having, they've referenced the events later on, like, we got Ross back, so, like, that movie is canon, it's just, like, why... You almost don't even want to point at it. Just don't draw attention to this movie that we have to keep canonical. Yeah. So I think that's kind of why.
It's an unfortunate thing. Like, while some people would say, like, that we're coming up on, like, a type of MCU reboot, it really feels like the only way we're going to get a Hulk to do proper Hulk things. Yeah. Which is such a shame for the peaks that this MCU has had.
Yeah, and so really, again, to tie our review down to something to get this structured a little bit. Opening was bad. I don't like the setting for the character. Again, where we are in his life, skipping too much of the origin, rushing it. I don't.
Yeah, the setting. I was almost immediately just like, we are going to get to the city, right?
Yeah,
we're going to get to the city. Yeah, I don't.
The location changes feel kind of weird and awkward in that, like, he's evaded capture for so long, and like I'm fine with that. Like, he's a really intelligent guy and everything, but like, I don't know. It's just we change settings a lot. You don't really get to see him interact meaningfully with any of those settings. Like, let me give you a good example, right? Tony in Iron Man immediately gets Yinsen when he's detained by the Ten Rings, right? And he gets someone to bounce back and forth with his character a little bit in that setting. And then when he comes back, he has interesting characters to bounce off of in Pepper and even his antagonist, Obadiah, right? There's a dialogue there, right? You get to see Tony and his personality and all of it, in all of his, like, I guess what encompasses him, because he interacts with several characters that pull that out of him. Yinsen shows you probably the deeper part of Tony where Tony doesn't want to see people hurt. Pepper shows you a different side of Tony. Obadiah shows you obviously a different side, being the antagonist. You could see Rhodey, interact with Tony, and that creates a great relationship there. You have none of that in the Hulk. None of that with Bruce Banner.
You put him in there, and he has no one.
He has one person to talk to that comes in a significant ways into the movie, and that's his his love interest. And it's like, while having a love interest is important, I think sometimes it's not necessary, but that shouldn't be the only character you bounce off of. Let me give you some crazy stuff. Bruce does not talk to Colonel or Commander Ross or whatever until the end of the movie. They don't really share any lines until the end of the movie when they're in the helicopter or whatever, and they decide to drop him in there to go fight Abomination. The only time that they have screen time together before that is like when they're confronting the Hulk. So obviously we're not doing speaking lines towards each other. And then when the initial chase in that other country happens and Ross gets out of the vehicle to kind of just like have a face-off moment with him. But there's no dialogue there. And so again, what you really get is Bruce Banner feels so self-contained by the end, and his personality feels so one-dimensional. The Hulk feels flat. Even the bigger antagonist in, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name now.
Discount McCone. What I got from this antagonist, I didn't catch his name. I don't think at any point.
Abomination, but I can't remember. Yeah,
Abomination. But like the thing with him is like just here recently, Gary and I watched The Running Man. The Running Man 2025. 2027. It was probably 2025. This guy feels like a Discount McCone. Like the final guy that he was having to fight at the end. This guy feels like him.
Emil Blonsky. That's his name. Emil Blonsky.
Feels like a Discount McCone who never has a one-up on Bruce a single time.
So, and that's what drives me nuts, is, again, at no point do the stakes feel high in this movie. At no point. There's never any stakes. None. The final confrontation in the movie, in my opinion, would have been elevated if Betty was in danger. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess civilians attacked like the helicopter, and then they were all there.
Yeah, but like civilians were in danger, but like the stakes never felt high. As with Iron Man, where you have Ironmonger or Obadiah going after Pepper, that makes things feel pretty intense pretty quickly.
Someone they know too. It's also very personal.
It puts Tony on the clock, right, and he's there immediately. So I don't know, and the stakes did not feel high. Again, I don't know. There's just so much wrong. And Emil Blonsky in of himself is such a nothing burger character. Like the two antagonists
I genuinely thought
they don't feel nuanced at all with Obadiah and Iron Man, right? Do we really care about him being a deeper character? Not really. He's not. It's obvious that he's a greedy guy. He wants to be in control and he's willing to step on anybody to do it. But The interesting part about that is it introduces an idea in your mind that Obadiah took advantage of Tony's father. Like, and is taking, like, there's so much to unpack there. There's nothing to unpack between Ross and Banner's relationship other than Bruce dates his daughter. Ross really doesn't care about his daughter. Him and Bruce don't have a relationship. The only thing, he wouldn't care about Bruce at all if he wasn't the Hulk. He would be chasing whoever the Hulk is, right? If it was any other scientist in that chair, Ross cares nothing at all about Banner. And that to me does not feel good. That doesn't feel good. There's nothing interesting in that relationship. There's nothing interesting in the conflict between Emil Blonsky, Abomination, and the Hulk.
If you took like the dynamic from Iron Man that I feel like works for why Obadiah is such a good role as Ironmonger and betraying Tony and everything, if you tried to apply that here in an interesting way, the interesting person to become Abomination would be Ross.
Yeah, again, and I think that... So, and here, okay, this is one thing that really bothered me. And I need to know if it's addressed in the MCU again later, because I don't know. Emil Blonsky just becomes a super soldier. What? So, before his transformation to Abomination, about halfway through the movie, we get the conflict that happens on the school grounds there at that college, where they're first trying to detain the Hulk, and Blonsky has been subjected to some sort of enhancements. I don't know if he's what it is, but he kind of gets he gets what is the Captain America treatment before we get Captain America. Emil Blonsky is like running behind the other soldiers, and Ross tells him he has to slow down because he's clipping these guys.
I thought he was about to drop on all fours and just be hoofing it like a fucking werewolf, bro.
And so my question is, the super soldier serum was not just fucking, like, they didn't just have this shit laying around, but apparently Ross just was like, oh yeah, I can just take a random soldier that's over here like, I want to beat the Hulk, sir. I want to do it. Rah! And Ross is just like, yeah, I'll just make him a super soldier. And it's like, it seems like there's no control over, like, can we just do that? Why aren't we just doing that? And at first, it doesn't seem like there's any drawbacks until some of the later enhancements where you see some of the bone issues in his spine. And then eventually, it's not even Ross that turns him into Abomination. That's the crazy thing. So it's not even, you can't even directly say Abomination is Ross's fault, which is what I remembered. I haven't seen this movie in so long. I was like, Ross makes that Blonsky guy into Abomination. It's Ross's fault that we have Abomination. No, it's not. He makes him like a normal-esque super soldier. And then, like, you can see that his mental, like, he's starting to lose it a little bit, but he's still human, right? Like, he could be taken down for sure. He's not incredibly dangerous. But then he finds Mr. Blue, or the guy that was helping Bruce to hopefully suppress the Hulk or cure himself. And that guy who's just, like, kind of low-key a nut job, he's like, yeah, I'll turn you into the Hulk, Blonsky, no problem. And that guy is responsible for the Abomination. And they set like up like they were setting it up there to make that guy the Hulk's next villain. I always forget his name, but basically he's just like incredibly intelligent. I could tell you what his name is.
I forgot we never even come back to that guy.
Yeah, you just
he
see
gets a few drops on his head. He's like smiling like an idiot while his head like does some weird stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is he gonna like pop out and be just like a gross little thing? But he never showed again for a second.
So the guy's name in the movie is Samuel Stearns, Mr. Blue. That's just what they call him. I guess he doesn't get a name beyond that. Anyways, I don't remember if he shows up again. I really don't care. But it was just interesting to see. Again, in my thinking, I thought Abomination was because of Ross, and it's really not. So you don't even really have Ross to like blame for that.
Yeah, it's not like he ever went to like an extreme of like, oh, I gotta get this guy.
Get the Hulk.
Do the thing.
That's what I remember. Yeah. And in my mind, that's a better movie. Is if Ross was like, screw it. If I can't capture Banner to get the Hulk, I'll try and make another Hulk. And then we get Abomination. I feel like that would have made more sense. but that's not what we do.
Yeah.
And so again, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot wrong with this movie. To really wrap up kind of our review on this, I just want to say that as far as performances go, Edward Norton, this was not your best thing. This was not your best thing. The interesting thing, and we just learned this between, I don't think we talked about this with camera rolling, but I didn't realize that Hulk and Iron Man released both in 2008, and Iron Man released in May.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk released in June.
1 month.
That's some superhero whiplash.
You gotta be confident as hell in that Iron Man movie.
Yeah, he should.
Which pays off. Iron Man, very good movie.
Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. showing up for his cameo in the Hulk.
Which I was not expecting. I thought, because I had already forgotten.
Credits.
Yeah, I had already forgotten that the Incredible Hulk was canon to the MCU while we were watching it, because I was so weird and like out of...
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the same universe. And then Tony pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Ross. And again, so... I
kind of thought for a moment early in the movie that Stark was going to be Mr. Blue. Because I was like, who's the only other like scientist that I feel like would be on a Banner level? But this Banner doesn't feel that intelligent either. I know he's a scientist. He doesn't feel Mark Ruffalo Banner intelligent. So I kind of thought that the payoff was going to be...
I can excuse it a little bit, him not feeling incredibly intelligent, with just like the fact that he's so on the run, he doesn't have the resources he needs to do the testing that he could probably do if he had those resources. But I do agree with what you're saying. He feels lackluster in his intelligence, in my opinion. He's very resourceful. You can see that he made several like different machines where he was living in that other country to, get himself up and running. But like, he definitely doesn't feel Tony Stark smart. Not close. Which, later on with Mark Ruffalo, you're led to believe they're intellectual equals.
Yeah, they're like working together. In my head, like Bruce Banner is like my more like biology based.
Yeah, I mean that's
like scientist
what it is,
versus like Tony's the tech side.
He's an engineer and like I mean so. Again, to get into the actor performances, Edward Norton, just not his best work. And in 2008...
I don't know any other work of his.
Yeah, that's true. This is from an era of time before you were really into movies. Yeah. But I would say in 2008, Edward Norton's arguably... not arguably. I think he just is a bigger actor than Robert Downey Jr.
I was sitting there staring at him, trying to think of if I knew his face from it.
You definitely know Fight Club. That's
haven't watched Fight Club.
I mean, you've not seen it, but that would be the one that you know of. He's also in American History X, and I'm reading these off. I haven't seen all these. He's in Primal Fear, Kingdom of Heaven, A Complete Unknown, Red Dragon. Apparently, he was in
Red Dragon.
Yeah, I don't know who he plays. I can look real quick just so. Oh, he plays Will Grant. I'm an idiot. He plays Will Grant.
Oh. Damn, now I kind of don't want to watch those movies. Shelby and I watched the Hannibal TV series, really loved it. And I thought once or twice about checking out the movies because my dad, we never got around to it.
We picked Anthony Hopkins, right?
We picked up Silence of the Lambs because my dad
he plays a great Hannibal Lecter. You would like those movies.
Yeah.
As like a side tangent. He was in a Glass Onion.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a great actor. So like I'm not trying to say that I don't like Edward Norton. But let me get into why he's not great in The Incredible Hulk. So, I don't know how much of this is true. Actually, first, let's hit these other actors first before I get into the Edward Norton controversy and why this changed. Lou Ferrigno, the actor for Hulk in the TV series, and he actually did the voice for Hulk in this Incredible Hulk movie.
This was kind of something we were learning, like, just kind of as watching.
You're watching it.
Because you have the scene where Bruce comes through... to try and deliver pizzas. And Gary and I are sitting there watching, and it's just kind of just like a vibe.
I didn't recognize him at first.
Dude, yeah. He walks up, and he's talking to him, and Gary's like, did you see that guard? And I'm like, dude, he was fucking jacked!
Dude, Lou Ferrigno in that movie is as big as any human's ever been.
He's just resting guard at his counter.
He's sitting
veins popping out of his arms. Like, who is that?
Fucking Bruce walks up to like be like, oh, I gotta take a pizza, and he fucking hits him with a.
Who you know here?
Who you know here, bro?
Who you know here?
Can't park there. But like,
and almost immediately I just like Google it. I'm like, Incredible Hulk security guard. It's like, oh, it's Lou Ferrigno, and I'm like,
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Dude, yeah, he's fucking humongous. I don't know how old he was when that was, but whether he was...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not in his 20s. You know, obviously we know that. But however old he was, he looked great at it.
Yeah.
However old he was, he looks better than me
How many
now.
sit-ups, how many push-ups, what kind of juice is he drinking?
Dude, crazy. But yeah, obviously really cool that they wanted to get him involved and on camera. Was that... Yes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot this. There was a Stan Lee cameo. Mm-hmm. For a second, I was like, where was the Stan Lee cameo? I couldn't remember.
And that links to something. So, Stan Lee is in this movie, as he's going to be in, like, you know, pretty much all of these moving forward. Where he's just like, hold on, dog. Okay, the dog scared me. I thought she closed my OBS. I thought you closed OBS.
She's like, no, I'm good. I just get a little tired.
Yeah, Stan Lee is in this movie, and he, you know, drinks a soda or something that comes from the factory.
That has Bruce's blood in it. Yeah.
Because that links to an incident early in the movie where, you know, he gets cut, the blood falls into the drink, and I had a moment of fear. Incredible Hulk, I've never watched this movie until right now. This is my first time. I wondered if you were thinking and I looked deep into Gary's eyes when this happened, and, you know, the blood falls down, he cleans it up, it's on the bottle, it's left behind, and it ships off. And I turn and I'm like, please tell me Abomination does not come from someone just drinking this fuck-ass soda.
Honestly, though, would have been better.
Yeah.
At this point, like, what we got out of Blonsky and Ross and, like, what it served for the plot, it, you know, meaningless. But yeah, that was the Stan Lee cameos. He drinks that soda, and I don't think he dies.
He might die. He might just report it in, and that's how they find out where Bruce is and like rally the choppers and go.
Yeah, because apparently the guy he got sick from the radiation, right? And then they're like, well, he drank a soda that made him sick. Oh, well, we track where that soda was manufactured, and that's how they find Bruce.
And oh my God, was I terrified. That was going to become... Someone was going to drink this. We were going to follow their condition throughout the movie till they become Abomination.
You know, and this is the weird thing about this movie for me, too, is we got more in the way of watching Abomination's creation and watching Blonsky become Abomination than we do the Hulk becoming the Hulk. And that's kind of upsetting.
And somehow the Abomination stuff was still not as good as what bits of Hulk stuff was there.
Exactly. So Lou Ferrigno, cameo, great. Stan Lee, cameo, cool, awesome. Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, she's wonderful. Mm-hmm. She's wonderful.
I can't remember if you already brought up the General. I thought he was fine.
That's William Hurt.
I thought it was like a fine general role. I felt how much he hated Bruce Banner.
The problem was the script and what they were doing. Yeah. It wasn't his portrayal.
Like you said, he didn't directly like cause the Abomination thing, you know. So it's also hard to account.
His dialogue with Betty was great too.
Yeah.
He felt very menacing. Like, I don't think that I had a problem with him as Ross, and I'm glad he comes back. He does come back. So
now, when talking about the cast, I also want to talk about Hulk himself. I thought the Hulk action sequences were good in this. I liked the fighting when it happened. I thought he was menacing. I thought this for a lot of years because I've never seen this Hulk movie, and I just had the visual of, like, the poster to go off of, and I've seen, like, the one clip of him, like, tearing off the last bit of the shirt before the final confrontation. Of the 3 Hulk designs that I know from movies, you have, like, the... You know, Lou Ferrigno Hulk, which like, I'm not really counting this. I'm going to count the CGI.
He just looks like a big guy.
You have when's the other Hulk movie from? It's like in my head, I'm thinking like 2004, 2006.
Hold on.
It's probably 2005. Shoot in the middle.
I'll tell you. Continue your point.
But you have like the Hulk movie.
2003.
You have the 2003 Hulk. You have this Hulk movie from 2008, and then you have Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Out of the 3. In terms of appearance, I've always kind of gravitated towards the look of the Incredible Hulk. I like that the Ruffalo Hulk has his facial features. It makes sense. Obviously, this Hulk doesn't look much like Edward Norton to me initially, but I like the longer, scraggly hair. I think he has a good look here. Obviously, the muscle like structure is not as realistic as it is later on in like Ruffalo's Hulk, but I think this look is raw. I think this is a raw-looking Hulk that I've liked because I also had the Incredible Hulk video game, and I thought it was sick. I love that game.
I don't know where it was in the movie, but at one point, and I was going to make this as a mark against the Hulk design, but I later moved this as a mark against the movie production. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was green enough certain scenes. In certain scenes, he looked very muted, like a off gray color, and he just didn't look green enough to me.
At times, I wondered if it might have just been color grading for certain light shots and stuff. Because there are other times
when you said that, I went, I think this is just a production problem.
There's other times, like in the rain at the cave scene with Betty, where he's very green, almost as green as like his eyes at times.
And it looks, I like my Hulk green.
Yeah, I am green, and that's because I also made a point we were watching about the MCU Hulk, where it feels like now he's a lot more pale, like ish green.
I don't
not as muted as I'm probably like seeing it in my head, but yeah,
I don't
not.
We agree.
Yeah,
the Hulk need to be green.
Hulk, like comic book green, is green.
Yeah, green. I want my
that is 0, 255, 0. Like in the comics. Here it was like it was back and forth.
Yeah.
So, I like my Hulk green.
That was one of my big issues. Again, it wasn't an issue with his design. I think you were right. It's just a color grading thing. But again, returning to Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, she was fantastic, and it's such a shame she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because she has so much like agency in this movie, too, it feels like. She has no qualms about standing up and telling her dad that you are an asshole. Yeah. You know?
She could have been a very strong character later on in the MCU in the same way that Pepper is a very strong character. So it's very
Pepper is a character you like almost instantly, just like you. Oh my god, her boyfriend she shows up with in this movie. When he pulls up, I'm like, Phil Dunphy, you dog.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, I'm glad that they didn't try to make him like an asshole afterwards. Because you find out that like obviously he made the call to Ross about it or whatever. But it's like almost immediately he's like, I didn't think you were gonna do that.
Yeah, you're kind of like, a douche, bro.
Yeah.
Now I know why Betty.
It's like, you guys are the ones that hurt her.
Betty's right. You are kind of a bitch, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that was which I'm glad, because I could not have seen Phil Dunphy as a threat either. No. Which I'm glad they instantly made him like more like empathetic to what's going on.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Betty or Liv Tyler as Betty, great. William Hurt as Ross, great. To really kind of put a pin on the actors, Edward Norton. So now I feel like we can kind of talk about it. Edward Norton at that time probably would have been the headline actor. Fight Club and other things under his belt, just making him a household name. I don't think any real controversies that could have kind of besmirched his shine or anything like that. So there was definitely an argument to be made that he was going to be, a bigger name than Robert Downey Jr. and that he could technically be the lead for this MCU project. The problem being with that is that, there's no strong count on what's the 100% truth. There's statements made over the years from both sides that kind of contradict each other, and it's just your interpretation, really, who you believe. I will say that my opinion outright is that there's a little bit of truth to both sides. So with Edward Norton, apparently there's and all of these are from various reports from different outlets from that time, from interviews since then. I think there's an interview with Edward Norton in 2014. I'm just going to paraphrase a lot of this. If you're interested in looking into it more, you should do that. But it's really not that big a deal. There's no massive controversy as to why he didn't come back. It really just kind of boils down to Edward Norton at that time was a really big actor and is still, in the grand scheme of things, a big name. He did not think that he should reportedly be lower than anybody on the card. To have him and Robert Downey Jr. in a movie together for the Avengers.
The dog stopped the OBS record. She laid her head down. Only right there. Like, literally just right there. Yeah, as you were saying that, she laid her head on it.
Sylvie.
Mouse went down.
So tired. Let her go.
So tired.
Go lay on the couch. Go on.
You can go to sleep. Hold on. Sylvie, any final thoughts on the Hulk?
Nothing to say.
Nothing to say. Nothing to talk about.
Wait, bring her back. Bring her back one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a one good thing. Tell us your favorite thing about Edward Norton's performance. Say nothing at all if you think the Hulk deserves a solo movie. Solo movie confirmed. With Edward Norton, again, I'm just kind of paraphrasing a lot of this. If you're interested in looking into it, go look into it. that's all up to you. But basically, it was going to be a very expensive endeavor to have Robert Downey Jr. and Edward Norton in an Avengers movie together. It was going to be expensive. So they knew that going in. Marvel obviously was going to have to put up with that. But even more so than that, Edward Norton had a lot of thoughts, apparently, about what he thought the Hulk should be and what he wanted to do. Apparently, and again, this may or may not be true, but Edward Norton forced a significant rewrite for that movie.
Really?
Because he wanted to have a more psychological, almost thriller vibe to the Hulk instead of what Marvel was wanting, which was obviously an action-packed, experience. So Edward Norton was probably responsible for that final product in that opening sequence. And I think he didn't want to be the odd one out in the superhero group where he can't control his guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like with Iron Man being Iron Man, Thor being Thor, and Captain America being Captain America. I don't think Edward Norton, from what I've read, I just, in my opinion, don't think he wanted to be the hero that was not a hero. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be able to be the Hulk and that character control it and be, again, a headliner superhero and not just the offshoot, side guy. And so, with him forcing a significant amount of the script to be rewritten, and then I guess it was hard for them money-wise, there was a whole lot of disagreement about what was going to be the future for Edward Norton as that character. By the time Avengers rolls around, they basically have a panel where I think it's Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and maybe I guess some of the others were up on stage. But essentially, it's just they just kind of reveal that Edward Norton's not coming back. And the short of it is just that there's just a disagreement between Marvel and Norton's group of how that character is going to get portrayed.
And obviously, with the MCU, signing on at that point, especially for an Avenger, big commitment.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a lot of big titles.
They were telling these guys that this is going to be several movies. You're coming back. And again, when you take a look at what Chris Hemsworth had done at that time, not to diminish him or put him down, but him being Thor was the biggest thing for his career. When you take a look at Chris Evans, right, not to put his career down or talk bad on him in any way, he was technically Johnny Storm for Fantastic Four, probably had some, idea of going into this, what it'd be like. Chris Evans is kind of an outward nerd a little bit too. Being Captain America was going to be a big deal for him. Robert Downey Jr., through controversy or whatever, you could talk about, Tony Stark being Tony Stark was going to be a big deal for him. Edward Norton as the Hulk, you feel like he probably thought he was doing them a favor. This is just it's not the deep role that he's used to, and I think that he probably just felt like the role and being one guy in a group movie was beneath him. I
can see that, yeah. When I think about it, because the Avengers characters have been with us for so long as the Avengers that it's very jarring whenever we see something Avengers related or the Avengers game comes out and the likenesses to actors aren't shared and people are just who is this?
Yeah.
Which is going to be a big heavy part of why it's going to be so hard to reboot and do the recasting and everything like that. Yeah. And it's I guess none of them really... I mean, I'm sure there may be a couple, but Edward Norton might have the biggest, precursor to their MCU role.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of roll it back the other way and give Norton some credit. So there was, and this is just stuff, again, that I've read. You can look into it more yourself. But there was the thought, too, that Mark Ruffalo was Marvel's guy from the start. And I think it's who had Hulk? Was it Universal? I can't tell you who had the Hulk rights.
I feel like I want to say Fox.
The Hulk. Here, we'll look it up. But what did you think more so about now that you're hearing that? Are you kind of glad we got Mark Ruffalo? I mean, with the little bit you've seen of him.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard because I think Mark Ruffalo has been very charming in his role as Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
What I've seen of him in the movies, I like his dynamic with Tony a lot. Like I said, I don't feel like Edward Norton's Bruce Banner in my head interacts with these characters in a similar charming way So I guess I do prefer. It all comes down to just the misuse of the Hulk in the MCU too, though, right?
Mm.
While I feel like I think Mark Ruffalo's performance in the Bruce that I prefer is stronger, I haven't got to see him do the stuff I really want to see out of it. But that will change with the Avengers movies as we move into those. I'll get a little bit of that. But at least even my limited stuff that I've seen very little of him with Infinity War and Endgame, I think I still prefer his characterization.
Yeah. Okay, so now rereading it. So essentially, the director for the Hulk wanted Mark Ruffalo, and it looks like Marvel went with Edward Norton at the time for larger star power. When they came with those conflicts, but what ended up really kind of doing it was they went back to grab Ruffalo because Ruffalo was so enthusiastic about it.
Mm.
So, man, does that just kind of go into what you're talking about with like Mark Ruffalo? It's like portrayal of the Hulk. I mean, like you could tell he wanted to do it. Like it feels.
What
like
are we doing? Yeah. What are we not doing?
Yeah,
with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
Yeah, I mean there were, I don't know. There's just, it seems like a lot of it is just there was a constant back and forth with issues with the script, with production. Norton was apparently hard to work with, people say. But again, to roll it back Norton's way and to give him, maybe explain it from his side of things a little bit, he came on to the set for that movie, right? And he wasn't the pick of the director. The director wanted Mark Ruffalo, apparently. So to not be the director's first pick and to have to go into that production and they're doing it because of your star power and because of the rub you have from your other projects, I don't even know if it's so much ego, if it's just he's right. Like in that he's getting offers to do all these other projects, right? And he's going to turn them down to do this multi-movie thing, to be in this group ensemble movie. And it's just like, if I'm going to do that, I need to be paid what that's worth. Like, I'm turning down 4 movies to do your 2, right? I need to be compensated against that. That's his market value. So, if you're Edward Norton, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, he owes nothing to, at that time, Marvel fans of one movie in Iron Man, that has been out a month. He doesn't owe it to anybody other than where his career is at to deliver on what, they're asking him to do. And it just seems like they just couldn't come into an agreement on that. And what's unfortunate about that is I don't think that Norton wasn't enthusiastic about playing the character. I think he wasn't enthusiastic about being in a group ensemble because it was at the time that level of star, that caliber of star, where it's just like, it's not necessary for him. Like, he can go and do any other projects and be, our 30-minute on-screen character versus what he was going to get doing this, where it wasn't going to be the case. So, it is what it is, but ultimately, obviously, we know now that Norton gets recast, and that in hindsight, I think to really wrap up our Hulk review, I think that this movie is just an unfortunate misstep, right? To start off the Marvel Universe with. And it was just a step in the wrong direction with obviously not the right guy. And you just had to build on top of it, and you just had to keep going. Because there was obviously you're not recasting and shooting another solo movie to draw more attention to it. I think it would have been weird to give us a second Incredible Hulk movie 2 years later and just drop in Mark Ruffalo with all these other characters. All of a sudden it's just like Mark Ruffalo on screen with Liv Tyler as her Betty, and she just has to act like nothing.
That, I guess, is like one of the big issues. Because I was one of those people that after I watched what Marvel movies that I did out of the MCU, where I was like, I'd love a solo Hulk movie because I like the Hulk and I like Mark Ruffalo. But if you go and do that now, you have to bring in character points or something that came from this Incredible Hulk story.
Yeah.
Because that's part of his lore, and I don't think you
brought Ross back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, with Ross coming back and, like, several things being referenced from the movie is canonical. But if you want to really make a solo Hulk movie, it's going to be hard not to bring up the girl that he was in love with and the life that he used to live and all this stuff. Now, granted, I will say he doesn't have any friends, I guess, or family. Like, how this never comes up one time in the movie. I guess Banner was an only child with no parents alive and no other family to speak of.
I have no built-in lore in my mind of where the Hulk comes from.
Well, but they don't talk about it. It doesn't come up in the movie at all. At least in Iron Man, right? You know that Tony's dad died. It's obvious that his parents are probably long since passed. He was an only child. You know that, like, Rhodey's kind of his only real friend. He's got Pepper. Through numerous lines of dialogue, you are lent to the idea that he doesn't really have anyone that's close to him like that. With Bruce Banner, you get none of that. You literally have his love interest with Betty, and then it's just like, I guess he doesn't have any family that gives a shit about him. I guess he doesn't have any fucking friends. I don't know. Just a weird movie overall. A lot of missteps. Obviously, the MCU ended up being fine without Edward Norton, so sucks that he didn't come back, but I think that Mark Ruffalo is a great Hulk. It would be awesome to get a solo Hulk movie, and if I'm honest, if nothing else, I think it would be okay at this point to put Liv Tyler back on screen as Betty if she wanted to do it, to give our Hulk that cool conclusion. Because he's got his son now, right? Do we know who the mom is? I don't know. I
don't know. I didn't even know.
I haven't watched She-Hulk. I haven't watched...
Yeah, I'll get the Marvel news every now and again. I just remember near the end of, like, something with She-Hulk. I don't even know if it has a season 2 or not.
I'm not sure. Honestly.
But I just know at the end of that, it's like everyone was talking about, like, oh, Hulk pulled up. He's got a kid.
Yeah.
He's got some dumb hair.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some real dumb hair. It's like, oh, whose kid is this? Is this a Betty thing? Is it,
I don't know. I mean,
So, I guess, in the wrap-up of it, out of my short list of things I did like in the movie that I wanted to touch on, we talked about the look of the Hulk. That was probably the thing I liked best from this, just because I do like that presentation and design, because I played the game and I thought the game was cool. Yeah, the combat was cool. I got so excited when I saw us in the helicopter as things were happening, because I was just like, oh, I hope we do a superhero landing. Yeah. And then almost instantly he turns and he's like, just open the back.
Yeah.
Don't land, just open the back. And I was like, yeah! And then we get something that I thought was cooler, and that he just plummets out, smashes into the ground, and you have the hand up out of there.
That was sick. It reminded me of when Iron Man gets shot by the tank shell, hits the ground, and we get the cool Iron Man peering out of the crater.
Yeah.
It's cool because, like, they're superheroes, right? But you can obviously see that they're not proficient yet, because Iron Man doesn't get his superhero landing in that movie, just like the Hulk doesn't get his superhero landing in his. I don't know. There's some cool stuff, but ultimately it's not enough to save this movie. Bryce, go ahead and rank it for us.
The rankings. So coming into the updated rankings, so before we had my initial rankings of the MCU movies I had seen, which was like 11 or 12 of them, we got that put together. We did the Iron Man episode. Iron Man came flying in at rank A on screen. Iron Man came in ranked at A in my tier with Deadpool and Wolverine, Black Panther. Iron Man came in there, Fantastic Four: The First Steps, and the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I had some hard time. I had a difficult time right before we started recording ranking this one. I hadn't put it in my list yet till we were sat down.
Yeah,
I've been sitting with the movie for it's probably been like 3 or 4 days since we saw it. So I've been trying to think about it. I was just dragging the thing around in here, looking at other movies, and I'm like, can this fit here? Can this fit here? Does it belong next to this movie? Does it not? Mm-hmm. I played around with the rankings, kind of bouncing it between two.
Between two.
Where this movie landed. The Incredible Hulk, 2008, comes in at D.
Yeah.
D on this list. Initially, my thoughts had me at like a C.
Yeah.
I was bouncing between a C and a D on this one. Yeah. And the big thing that made the deciding factor is in C, the only movie it had to sit next to was Wakanda Forever for me.
Which is not fair.
And Wakanda Forever and The Incredible Hulk do not go together like that. No. So on that ground, and the way this list is built right now, before we get a ton of titles on here, the Hulk cannot be in the same tier as Wakanda Forever.
When we get towards the MCU, end of the MCU, and that's another thing, where you put it now, it doesn't have to stay.
Yeah.
You can always
I think it's very likely that Wakanda Forever comes up to B at some point before long.
Especially when we revisit it or watch the first one.
Yeah. But at least right now, I can't have that in there, and so on that grounds, The Incredible Hulk has to come in at a D. There was, of course, the short list of things I liked about it. There was a longer list of things that either just confused or bored me, or that I just know don't come up later in ways that are meaningful, or ways that I know that this Hulk would not interact well with the Avengers that we have later.
Yeah.
And so, at a D, The Incredible Hulk 2008 lands.
Yeah, so one more time, Bryce's list.
Oh yeah, now we got. So where is this? So your list as of
Is one movie.
had one movie.
My list
had Iron Man at an A. So what are we looking at for the Hulk with your list?
F. So this is for me as bad as the MCU ever gets. And it's really funny because as we get later on, so like I've said,
the worst the MCU ever gets. Okay.
Well, there are things that are tied. F for me is homogenous. Anything that goes in F, I'm not ranking F. If it's in F, it's something by my definition of what F is, there's no point in me ever rewatching this movie. I will never sit down and watch The Incredible. I'm never going to watch The Incredible Hulk again. I will never watch this movie again unless exactly this situation comes up where I'm genuinely just showing it to somebody that just wants to see it. I'm not there. There's nothing in that movie for me to watch it for fun. I don't care about Edward Norton's performance. I don't care about what it meant to it's a nothing burger. So to dig deeper into why it's an F, again, I think that I mentioned it earlier, origin story merchant. This is an important Avengers character. You're building your cinematic universe. Why is this not an origin story? Why is this not an origin story?
And I get the idea that, like, in the timeline, obviously, Tony, because we're trying to build the Avengers, right? That's what the phase we're in. We want to build the Avengers, assemble a team. Obviously, if this movie took place, at this time, or the events of, like, Hulk's origin happened at this time, Tony's not going to go out and try to recruit, a Hulk that just rampaged and all these things just went bad right away. But in that case,
I would agree.
Set it further back.
I would agree. Past. Let me reiterate, though. I have the perspective of knowing where the Avengers picks up with this character. I know. So you haven't seen the Avengers yet. What you will come to realize at this movie and where it resolves with, like, the New Yorkers seeing the Hulk and seeing that he kind of, like, beats the Abomination for them and is almost like a champion for them, that shit goes out the window. That is not the perspective of the Hulk when they pick up with him in the Avengers. And it is not how they will interact with him in the Avengers. And it's not how Bruce Banner in the Avengers, Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, will talk about his relationship with the Hulk. He does not have control of the Hulk. Not really. And he still feels too dangerous to be, like, they're just two totally different characters.
Yeah.
What we get out of this movie is a nothing burger. And it doesn't contribute to our character later. It doesn't contribute to any sort of cool personal relationships or dynamics we get later. Our cameo with Robert Downey Jr. is not even with the Hulk. It's with Ross. There's no layover. Literally, and I'm so serious when I say this, you could say that Edward Norton's Hulk was not Bruce Banner and it was Tim McDude, my guy. And yeah, you can make that argument because they are not similar at all. You don't get the vibe from Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, that he can hold his own in self-defense without turning into the Hulk.
Yeah, he's like a little dweeb.
He's a little dweeb. Edward Norton, not like that. Is kind of like doing some parkour to run away, gets into minor stuff.
I'm pretty sure, I think he fought off like a guy or two.
And it's like, just not the same character. So, yeah, for me, it's an F.
It's like, man, the Hulk... Man, since your movie, you became a real big pussy before you joined the Avengers.
And the perspective of the world towards the Hulk is not the same, or it's not evolved from what we could have gotten from the end of the Incredible Hulk movie. And the character in of itself is just there's no connection.
Yeah.
This movie is canonical in the sense that Marvel didn't want to do it again. I mean, it's really that simple. They didn't want to do it again, and they had the Avengers coming up. They were on a timetable, and they were just like, we're sticking to the shit.
Yeah.
We're just gonna, this is the ugly duckling, guys, and we're not coming back.
And then, unfortunately, left Homeboy just floating near the bottom of our lists.
Yeah, and unfortunately now, for what we're going to see going forward in the MCU, is this guy will be a straggler. He will be F tier, the only F tier movie on my list for a while. Moving past the Hulk review and the rankings. So one more time, Bryce's list, my list, random ranks.
Random ranks, spin the wheel! Coming back to random ranks, we're going to spin a wheel, obviously, with a lot of random stuff that I just put in there. We're either going to rank them, tier list them like 1 to 10, whatever the best case for what we roll is. Yeah. I added a few new things since last time just to spice it up a little more, just because I wanted a bunch of stuff in there.
Yep.
Yeah. First time we did this, we had Spider-Man movies, a lot of controversial takes. The next one we did, candy. Yeah, we did Halloween candies.
One that was thematic for like the first episode was like, oh yeah, we talked about Spider-Man a lot, and then landed on it. And then the second episode, I feel like we talked about candy more than we talked about the Spider-Man.
Way longer.
Yeah,
way longer. To be fair, there were way more candies to rank.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what it will be this time.
Spin it.
Spinning the wheel.
Hit it.
It's going. It's going. Can we get They Beat Goku? I'd love that list.
Oh!
SpongeBob characters.
Okay.
SpongeBob. I'm gonna see what list I can find. I hope this is a good one. SpongeBob characters tier list. This thing, yeah, could be controversial. There's a lot of characters on this list I'm looking at. Some, at a glance, I'll recognize some of them. I'll more just have to describe them, maybe if not by name. A few of these I won't know, because obviously I haven't had the time or the childlike wonder to watch recent SpongeBob seasons, but yeah. I know most of these here.
I can rank the first couple seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll probably start with a couple of the obvious characters and go from there.
Okay.
So going to the start of the list, let me find SpongeBob. I feel like he shouldn't be that hard to find in here, but okay, there we go. SpongeBob in the show SpongeBob. Where's he going?
S tier.
S tier. He's the little yellow guy. He's the little yellow guy.
I don't think we gotta be like disingenuous. Like, let's not try and make a rage bait clip right
now. Yeah, sure. He's almost destroyed Bikini Bottom 1,000 million times.
SpongeBob's the worst part of SpongeBob.
Yeah. SpongeBob, he's almost destroyed Bikini Bottom 1 million times, but he's also saved Bikini Bottom millions of billions of times. SpongeBob, easy S tier character, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick is next.
That's S tier.
S tier character.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people may fight you on recent season Patrick's.
I don't.
Just because Patrick became almost like a stupid to a detriment character.
Yeah.
That he was just more of an antagonist more than he wasn't.
I'm not referencing current SpongeBob.
But we're living in like my childlike wonder of Patrick, where overall, he's
just a good guy.
He's just a good guy. Usually well-meaning, dim-witted guy.
He's dumb.
Squidward. As a kid, he'd have been low down. He was just a big old bummer.
Like now as an adult,
yeah.
I get it. He's a
Squidward. He's got so many, just like
I feel like
I got a couple of dumbbells right here.
These three are all S tier.
Yeah.
So
inarguable. Yeah, inarguable S tier characters. Squidward has become more quotable as we get older.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree.
Eugene Krabs.
Actually, not S tier.
Not S tier.
No, and like this is a thing that I remember thinking as a kid was like Krabs as a character is funny, but like I'm not ranking them just off of how funny I think they are.
Yeah.
If I was ranking them purely on that, like SpongeBob may not be S tier, just based on like SpongeBob's hijinks aren't always the funniest thing, right? Like some episodes, SpongeBob is pretty great, right? I'm ranking them off of more like a sense of just, I don't know, I enjoy this character.
Yeah.
Like, Krabs, I don't know. Especially as a kid, there were episodes where...
He could have some miserable episodes.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, and then like, I don't know, him and how he goes back and forth with Pearl sometimes, I'm just like... I just get bored of it. His character is...
Yeah.
I mean, they're all...
You eventually find out... you eventually will run out of ways to make being the cheapskate funny.
Yeah.
To where now he's just doing like insane stuff, which, of course there are like certain limits he went to, like he gambled SpongeBob, right? And lost him. That gives us one of the best episodes ever.
Yep.
But yeah, at the same time, it's like, you get a little bit tired of it. A tier?
Yeah, that's fine.
A tier? Okay.
It's just the same bit over and over and over and over and over. Like with SpongeBob, like him being a goof and being an idiot, like every situation you put him in, he reacts differently. Like with SpongeBob, you get a range, you know, from like the Pickles episode. Like you see an anxious SpongeBob, you'll see happy SpongeBob, you'll see depressed SpongeBob. With Krabs, he's always the same. He's just a cheapskate. So.
Going on, we have... We're gonna drop in here next. Let's go, Plankton.
S tier.
S tier character.
Plankton is actually, and this is my hot take, is the funniest character in SpongeBob.
Probably.
Plankton is...
He's got, just like with Squidward, so many more of Plankton's things get like funnier as you get older. Like, someone should throw you in, or someone should like put you in a box floating down that river, Grandma.
Yeah.
Like,
dude.
Come on.
And then, like, I think the funny thing is Plankton is, like, the perseverance to just continue to do the same thing. And, like, he's such a genius, but, like, he can't just make his food better.
No.
Right? Like, devising the most let me make a Mr. Krabs robot to roll up in the Krusty Krab and try and get the secret formula. But you go over to his restaurant and he's got fucking chum, which is just crazy. Just crazy. No, I like Plankton. Plankton's hilarious.
We go to... Let's grab another one from down here. Patchy the Pirate.
I actually don't think Patchy's funny at all. I think Patchy's low-key.
What the fuck? You said we weren't doing hot takes. What is that?
I think Patchy's low-key kind of annoying. I don't think he's very...
I hope they crucify you for that one.
No, I just don't think he's funny.
Patchy the Pirate. That's Tom Kenny. That's SpongeBob himself.
It just wasn't a funny bit.
Oh my god.
It just wasn't funny.
Oh my god.
It's like funny the first 2 times.
Him and Potty.
I didn't think it was funny.
Oh my god.
Not funny. Didn't laugh.
Oh my god.
You can split the difference. You can put him where you want.
He's an S tier character. Where was he for you?
Like C.
Like C? He would have been an easy S tier character for me. Out of how...
Not funny, didn't laugh.
How...
No funny, didn't laugh.
This is the most begrudging B I've ever placed in my entire life.
You can put him in A, I guess.
I will gladly put it... He's over Mr. Krabs for me.
No.
What?
What? No.
Oh my god.
No, he's not. You know full well Mr. Krabs has had funnier moments than Patchy.
I pray... Like... TikTok isn't enough. Instagram Reels needs to get on your ass.
Mr. Krabs' walk is funnier than Patches.
Patches.
Patchy.
Patches. Oh my god.
He's just not funny, bro. I just don't even really remember him. He's just not very funny to me. Like the times his bit come up just never really got me as a kid. He didn't pop me.
Oh my god.
No pop. You see him make his entrance? No pop.
Following up behind that, I don't even want to do this shit anymore, dude.
No pop.
Karen, Plankton's computer wife.
S tier.
S tier.
Yeah. She's hilarious.
This guy, maybe even until the recent couple years, wouldn't have been as funny to me. But Bubble Bass. He feels like an A or B territory. Still no pickles.
That one episode puts him, but he can't be A tier.
Can't be A tier.
But that one episode,
since he should be at least like
that one episode is doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah. All right, Bubble Bass. Where we been? B C.
B for Bubble Bass.
B for Bubble Bass. We have Gary the Snail. His dialogue is so nuanced.
Never laughed.
It's just a trauma thing for you.
F tier.
It's a trauma thing.
F tier.
I'll.
Do you know how many times I've had people go, Gary?
Like the steel!
No. F tier.
Alright. Gary the Snail in F tier. The Flying Dutchman. Am I gonna find out you have like a hate brigade against the entire cast of SpongeBob?
He's just not that funny, bro.
The Monkey's Fist!
No, that shit,
The Monkey!
That's the funniest. That's one of the funniest.
He's gotta be
scenes.
at least B.
Yeah, I'd put him.
He's gotta be at least B.
I wouldn't put him in A tier, but that scene. The monkey! That's pretty good. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's pretty peak.
Squilliam Fancy Son.
That never laughed.
What?
Never popped.
Still working the cash register, Squiddy. As
Even
personality-wise,
as a kid, I was like, "Fuck this guy."
This is one of the,
we all know a Squilliam.
he's definitely not as good as the Flying Dutchman. I'd rather hang out with the Flying Dutchman. Squilliam's a dickhead. He's got to be like D or F.
Yeah,
F, I feel like it's gonna be unwatchable. Get him off of there. D is like antagonist, but I like to see him get owned.
No, not even. I just don't like any episode he's ever been in. I just didn't care. No. Sweet Victory.
Oh,
that puts him C tier at least. Just watching the fucking that's C tier.
Out of person, I'm gonna leave him in D just because of like he is ultimately just this like unredeemable like character. Like I said, but for the D is like a bad character that I like to see them get owned.
Yeah, B for Bubble Bath. The reason Bubble Bath gets to be in B is he's never annoyed me, and that episode with him. Still no pickles is so funny. But yeah, D is fine for Squilliam. Fucking, we all know Squilliam. If you act like Squilliam to your friends, fuck you.
Sandy Cheeks.
Just the name alone is peak.
Yeah, right?
Just name alone
Sandy
is peak.
She's got, I want to go home.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is my hot take.
Her Kill Bill episode.
No, look, that's good. But the funniest episode of SpongeBob is when she's hibernating.
Dude. Yeah.
That shit is...
Run, SpongeBob! Which one of you is Dirty Dan?
I am. Dude. No, yeah, that's the funniest episode of SpongeBob to me. I don't know why. That one just is so good. Also, her whole bit, recurring, her bit of being incredibly smart and being a squirrel underwater and, like, her friends coming in there, her bit fulfilled so many funny episodes. The SpongeBob episode, I don't need it. Her character makes some of the most quotable moments because of the situation she puts other characters in.
People from Texas are dumb. What did you say? Yeah, Sandy's a peak character. When those AI SpongeBob songs,
what's the difference?
When those AI SpongeBob songs were going around, like the Glorb thing,
yeah.
Sandy had the best bars on those too.
No,
Sandy would come in and just drop fire.
Sandy goes S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Hi,
Kevin. He is definitely at least as annoying and unredeemable as Squilliam Fancy Son. But is he an F? Is he a get off my screen?
I think he's an F for me.
He's an F.
I just fucking hate him. I don't like looking at him.
Also,
he's such a dick to SpongeBob for no fucking reason. Fuck that guy.
We go to SpongeBob's cousin Stanley.
Oh, that guy was a goober. I didn't hate him.
Yeah, he was
kind of annoying. Just put him.
I don't want to see him get owned on like Squilliam. He's well-meaning. He just sucks at everything.
Real.
I'm really just bouncing around. I'm not even going anywhere. I'm just bouncing around on this list. The Dirty Bubble. No memorable lines of dialogue. Most notable, really, just for that episode where everyone's superheroes. Or when Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy join up with the Dirty Bubble.
I can't think it. I don't think he does literally anything ever.
Is he above or below Squilliam?
Above Squilliam.
Above Squilliam.
Just put him in C.
Or do you want C or high D?
High D is fine.
High D.
I feel nothing towards him, but it's not a dislike.
Let's go ahead and do Mermaid Man on Barnacle Boy. Mermaid Man. It's got a lot of quotable lines. Evil!
I'm really trying to think if there's anything that he did. Like, he has quotable lines, but is there anything Mermaid Man actually did that made me laugh? No.
Amazing voice acting.
No,
It does a lot of the
you know
carrying.
what? And I will say, the one thing I can think of that does get a pop for me is the dumbass trading cards.
Buy more cards!
That exact line, that every time I still do it. That line sticks with me so much that every time I buy cards now for any card game, I think of buy more cards.
So our B tier right now is Bubble Bass and Flying Dutchman.
He's above Bubble.
A tier is Krabs, Patchy, and Gary.
He shouldn't. Patchy's higher than he should be. You can put him in. You can put him in B.
Put him in B.
Put him in B.
Highest B. All right. Going about, we got
Barnacle Boy.
Barnacle Boy.
Put him next to Mermaid Man.
Right up there.
Inseparable.
All right. We go next to Mystery. The Seahorse. Any connection to Mystery is just from how much SpongeBob loved that damn horse.
Yeah, I mean...
It really only just did... It was kind of a nuisance.
Yeah, just put it in C.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the horse get hurt, but I just don't want to
Don't want to go put it out, you know? Mrs. Puff.
I actually fucking hate Mrs. Puff. Put her in... No. Put her in D.
Put her in D, the get owned characters?
Yeah, I just don't... I don't want to see her happy.
We go
Bitch,
next.
show him how to drive. Her problem was that, he fucking sucked at it. It's like, it's
maybe
your job.
You're a bad teacher.
Yeah, you're
bad teacher.
It's your job.
Piggybacking off of that, that hardcore general motherfucker that came in and told Mrs. Puff, you can't teach, and then proceeded to spectacularly fail.
Shark?
Yeah.
Yeah, put him in C.
Put him in C.
I don't want to see anything happen, but he made me laugh a little bit.
Whoops. Get off my screen.
The cereal thing with him and SpongeBob. What is it?
Where was he going? C?
Yeah, C.
So you have him above Mrs. Puff.
Yeah, I don't think Mrs. Puff is funny. She doesn't make me laugh.
I'm trying to think of what bit that general type guy had, because
he's making him eat the cereal or something. I'm trying to recall. Alright, this is one of those times where I have to see him.
I know there's one of those bits where he's like, do you want this thing? And SpongeBob's like, yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah. Driving Sergeant. Driving School Shark. Okay, so somebody else has looked this up recently. Yes! Here it is. Alright, here we go.
I got Mrs. Puff fired.
Hello, worthless students. I'm your new instructor. No one's ever failed my class that's lived through it. I can assure you these next 4 weeks will be the worst years of your miserable lives. Your spines will break, your teeth will ache, your eyes will be bloodshot. You will drive out of this school in style, or you will be carted out in your granny's handbasket. Everyone will follow the rules of the class. First rule, no talking. Does that mean... Second rule, no eating in my class. Would anyone care?
Bon.
I'll eat one. Pick your favorite. How's it taste?
It's a delightful taste sensation.
No eating in my classroom.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a fair ranking.
Alright.
It's a fair ranking.
Cutting us back in. No eating in my class. Would you like a bonbon? Dude, yeah.
Pick your favorite.
It's a delightful taste sensation.
Man Ray.
He's funny.
Man Ray
He's
funny.
Literally just the wallet scene.
Where does the wallet seat land him?
I'm ranking him just off that A tier.
A tier. SpongeBob's grandma.
Oh, I love Grandma.
Isn't she the best?
I love Grandma.
She's S tier, right?
I can put her in S tier.
S tier, yeah.
I like SpongeBob's grandma.
She. Larry the Lobster. Live!
Yeah, A tier.
A tier,
He's
Larry the
funny.
Lobster.
Living
Perch
life like
Perkins. Perch Perkins. Newscaster.
Yeah, he's funny. A tier. No,
A-
B tier.
Oh yeah, we're going a little high. What the fuck?
B tier. Some of the bits some of the news bits are funny.
Let's see.
I feel like you don't see that bit later on very much. That bit
Nah.
kind of died.
Pearl.
Never funny.
Annoying.
Never want to see her.
Pearl sucks.
F.
F tier. Bye, Kevin.
Never want to see her on the screen. Never. laugh.
She. I know we ranked Homeboy already, but Potty the Parrot.
Potty's funnier than he is.
Where's Potty?
Let me put him in A.
Potty and A. C. We got the old lady. What? What is he selling? Chocolate.
They're only ranking her on that one moment,
Yeah.
essentially, but that's so iconic. Give her an A tier, I guess.
Give her an A tier.
I mean, it's so chocolate. I mean, just that alone.
Let's see. The Doctor from SpongeBob. Well, SpongeBob, your laugh box.
C tier is fine.
C tier. C. We got Rocky, Patrick's snail.
Still better.
He did win that race.
Better than Pearl. Better than Kevin. That episode alone. I mean, you're ranking it off that. So yeah, go ahead and give it B tier.
B tier for Rocky.
Yeah, I'm fine with
All
that.
right.
What tier did Gary end up in?
I'm gonna put him up in A.
Move him down.
Move it
Move him down next to Rocky.
next to Rocky. Let's see. SpongeBob's parents. SpongeBob's mom and dad.
I don't remember.
Pretty much non-factors.
Yeah, just C tier, I guess.
C tier. The blue jellyfish. Do you recall the blue jellyfish?
No.
SpongeBob catches a blue jellyfish, uses like the jelly from
I
it,
do remember that.
and that's where you get like the whole like Mr. Krabs kidnaps all the jellyfish and does
episode
that.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
B.
I don't want to like put him in a low rank and like victim blame him, you know?
Just put him in C then. C's fine. Just away from the characters I dislike.
Mr. Krabs' mom.
C.
C. Now we're getting down to some characters who I just not recognize. Let me look for anyone I know still. Oh my gosh, what's her name? On another day I could know her name. Oh my goodness.
Go ahead. Come on. Tell me what she does. Give me the episode.
So she's with like that organization of ladies that show up and like are like, the Krusty Krab is too much chaos, it's too fun, and they try to make everything like all boring, and then she accidentally eats that Krabby Patty at the end.
F.
Yeah.
F.
Mrs. Snagglepuss. Mrs. Snagglepuss.
D tier. Just on the name. Name
Uh,
gets the points.
From the Kill Bill episode of Sandy, that Kung Fu master that tries
Yeah.
to sell SpongeBob on a timeshare.
That was the funny bit. Put him B tier. Made me laugh. Made me laugh.
King Neptune.
Wait.
No, this is Triton. This is Triton.
Okay. Not C.
C tier. Do you remember the guy that when SpongeBob broke Gary's shell, that he had to go to that shell store
Yeah.
and someone shattered them all, and there was just the dude who was crashing out?
C tier.
This was what did he do? SpongeBob's like grandpa or great grandpa or something on here. I remember he said something that like scared the shit out of SpongeBob and was like the feeder of an episode, but I don't recall anything. I don't know if I could rank him.
C.
No. C?
C is just for like characters that like I don't have any outward opinion on.
Yeah.
C is neutral.
There is this dolphin character who I know was a thing in one of like the newer movies, and he's appeared a couple times since then, but he's such a nothing character to me because I haven't watched that stuff.
C, yeah. How many characters we got left? A bunch?
A little bit, yeah. Don't know you. That guy from the beach who was tanning, I forget his name, but from the tanning episode.
C's fine. I don't think any of these other people will have opinions on. I think I think we've ranked the.
Don't know you. Oh, Mr. Krabs, I think this is like his dad or his grandpa or something, comes to visit to see if Mr. Krabs is carried through on being like a real cheapskate, real pirate.
There's no one I'm going to have any more. I think we've got it. Unless there's like a hidden banger.
I'm looking for the hidden banger. You know what's crazy on here? There is one banger left on here.
Making the last.
Here's one. The lady that finds Gary when he runs away from home. The old lady who's like feeding him the cookies and stuff.
S tier.
S tier? Oh no, she had like in the corner of her room there was just a pile of snail shells.
Oh.
They all like died, presumably they got too fat.
I thought it was like a good motivated thing.
No.
I didn't realize she was negligent. No, then F tier.
She probably was just feeding them to death. I'd be fine putting her in just like D. She's like I don't really like you.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
thing to do. I hope those weren't all other people's snails. That
leaves one character who's not on here, but I feel like would easily go to S. Is God, he has a real name. Fred, the My Leg guy.
Yeah.
Not on this
S
list.
tier.
He'd be an S tier.
He'd be an S tier. Yeah, I would put him up there. I would also like to rank as an honorary mention the guys from the SpongeBob movie, the what'll that be, fellas? Mustard or ketchup? Yeah, they're funny. They would be S tier.
Yeah, I can't believe they're not here.
They would be S tier for me.
Get better with your lists, guys.
If I'm
going to need to look for lists, I need these to be thorough, filled out.
The bounty hunter from that movie would also be S tier. He was so funny.
His name?
Don't know. I don't remember. The Hasselhoff.
The Hasselhoff
would be S tier. S tier plot device. S tier plot device.
Now there is another banger on here who I looked at, I couldn't believe I forgot this guy. I looked and I'm like, that's the easiest S tier I've ever seen in my life. The entrepreneur guy from the chocolate episode.
Yeah.
Sells them on doing the chocolate and later scams them on like it's like, every morning I break my arms. Every evening I break my legs. Yeah, he's scamming the shit out of
just
them.
That one meme. Is
a couple of class A suckeroonies like you.
Another honorary mention would be the dude from the Salty Spittoon.
How tough are you?
How tough are you? That guy. All bubble blowing double babies will be beaten senseless by every able body in the bar. That guy.
The guy from the SpongeBob movie, I can't remember. I feel like it was something like along the lines of like Travis or something. Like it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's on like the bottom of his boot. Yeah, that generally wraps up with the SpongeBob tier list.
There you go. SpongeBob tier list.
An S tier on the SpongeBob tier list, we end up with SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Plankton, Karen, Sandy, SpongeBob's grandma, and the guy from the entrepreneurship episode. Good bit. A tier sits at Mr. Krabs, Patchy the Pirate, but just begrudgingly for you, unfortunately. Potty the Parrot, Man Ray, Larry the Lobster, the chocolate. What is he selling?
Yeah.
B tier, Merman Man, Barnacle Boy, Bubble Bass, Flying Dutchman, Perch Perkins, Rocky, Gary, the Kung Fu Master. C tier, just a bunch of kind of just who's who.
And finally, our
SpongeBob's cousin Stanley, Mystery, whatever. Only other real mention in here is Triton. That's about it. Yeah,
and then just getting our D tier. I mean, like Squilliam and just like the undesirable.
Mrs. Puff, Dirty Bubble.
Yeah. And
F tier, Kevin, Pearl, Snagglepuss.
Yeah, good.
Baseline SpongeBob tier list. There you go.
Good.
And
A SpongeBob episode tier list would be like season 1 episode.
Just, if we ever whole episode dedicated to just rank the entire series.
Very funny. We wanted to talk about Invincible season 1 briefly.
Oh boy, did I!
We're not going to go super in depth on this. But really, we want to just kind of give an update.
Yeah.
Bryce
I finally hopped
season
into
1.
Invincible. It's been around for like ever, and I've known it's like popular and stuff.
You
And
love Steven Yeun.
oh yeah, there's so many Walking Dead actors in here, and just like people from other stuff that like I've been getting into it a lot more. Just like looking at the voice
The
roles.
Walking Dead. You love Robert Kirkman.
Main character Mark, voiced by Steven Yeun. Love him. Favorite character in The Walking Dead, Glenn.
Yep.
A recent entry who I know like will come in later seasons. I know Conquest is voiced by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan.
Yep.
And while I'm a good bit away from that, the show's been really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Season 1 I've wrapped up with, so you have like the primary events of Mark gets his powers. He's coming to terms with that, along like his friends and girlfriend like Amber and
Again, Origin Story
William.
Merchant. So I love
yeah.
season 1. It's
This is one of the best season 1s of like a superhero show that I've ever watched.
yeah.
Like probably my only other one that I love like equally is like season 1 with like the Flash
It's
because
got
of
a
how
nice unconventional origin story approach too.
yeah. Omni-Man shows up with this very like Superman-like tale of coming in and being like the Earth's guardian. Obviously, it is not the case.
Nope.
He's here to rule it, which he reveals to Mark at the end of the season, and they have their big fight, which is really when Invincible got on the radar for me as the show was coming out, and it's like, oh my god, this Superman tier character is here to dominate, and he's beating his son nearly to death.
So my thoughts are a little bit kind of briefer around like I personally hate the evil Superman trope. I think it's overdone. I just don't care anymore. I kind of was done with it with the Injustice video games. Like
I played the first one of those, didn't bother playing the next one.
And here's the thing is like what's interesting to me about Superman, and this may be a hot take, I think Superman has the most boring superpowers of all the superheroes I care about.
Yeah.
Flight and super strength.
Superman's always been down there for me.
He's just boring. I love Superman. Superman's an S tier superhero for me. I love Superman. The Superman, the David Cornsweet's Superman, that movie,
peak movie.
Fantastic. I love Superman. I don't care about Superman's powers. I don't care. What makes Superman to me is his attitude and his outlook and the perseverance and the hope he inspires. I like Clark Kent. I like the way that Superman conducts himself in being a mild-mannered, wants to do right just for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. I like that about Superman, and that to me is the interesting part of that character. I don't think it's interesting to have a character that is the most powerful thing in your little tied-in universe. I'm specifically referencing The Boys here because and here's your hot take, here's your clip for TikTok. I think The Boys sucks.
I've never watched it.
I've never been interested in The Boys. I've tried to watch it probably 3 separate times, and I don't get past like a couple of episodes because it's just not interesting to me. What's always been interesting to me about superhero media is that when given the opportunity and the ability to do just extraordinary good, that's what people choose to do with it. That's interesting to me. That's what I care about. And I have almost zero interest in seeing what someone with Superman's powers would do if they were a dickhead. Because I know what people will do with power in real life. We see it all the time. And we see all the time what people that have all the money or all the fame can do with it when they want to do things maliciously. That's not interesting to me. So I personally think that I'm over the evil Superman trope. I've never cared about it. I think The Boys fucking sucks. I think Homelander is a shitty character. and I don't think it's interesting or fun to watch. I don't care. So when I saw Invincible the first time and people were comparing it to The Boys, I almost didn't watch Invincible because everyone was like, oh, it's gory and it kind of turns the superhero thing on its head. And I was like, okay, well, I don't care then because that's not interesting to me. What's interesting to me about superheroes that I'm not going to go watch that. And I'm so glad I did because Invincible is not that. Invincible is not similar to The Boys at all. The only thing similar between those two things is the gore and the fact that there's like an overarching world built around being a superhero. Other than that, those two things don't overlap. By and large, most superheroes in Invincible are good people. It's not the same thing in The Boys. They're not comparable media. They're just not. There's just gore and it's a little bit gruesome sometimes. That's it. Other than that, with the evil Superman trope with Omni-Man and the Viltrumites, that to me is actually interesting versus like Homelander. Like when you compare Omni-Man versus Homelander and which one of those characters is more interesting, I don't find anything about Homelander interesting. I don't care that he was like a test tube baby or like whatever and was brought up through Vought and the little bit I know from that show, that character's not interesting to me. Omni-Man being sent from the Viltrumite Empire to come conquer Earth and then having this duality in him, and obviously, you know, at the end of season 1, I don't want to get into what I know from the comics or what I've seen that's further on from what you've seen. But even just at the end of season 1, you can see the conflict in Omni-Man, right? And this is where it twists the trope that I don't like. I don't like evil Superman. I think evil Superman's stupid. But it twists evil Superman even further and says, okay, what if Superman was evil? What if you did have somebody as strong as Superman that could do all those things and didn't have the good motivations that Superman has? But it takes it a step further and is like, but what if he overcame his evil nature by becoming human?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. And that's a great fucking idea for a show. And Invincible took the trope that I didn't like and turned it into something that I love. And I want to see more of someone overcoming their evil nature and having all the power to do bad things and deciding to do the opposite and overcome. I mean, I always think about this quote, and this is such a random tangent, but from Skyrim, Parthenax, the really wise dragon, like I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but he's like, "What's more impressive, to be born good or to overcome our evil nature?" Right? And I think it's super cool to see Omni-Man struggle with that at the end of season 1, where he realizes and he's grappling with what he's done to Mark.
Yeah. He essentially
the love he has for Mark.
Yeah, you get like obviously it's like flashing like super ahead here, but like in their like final fight with one another, and like the last thing that really happens is like Nolan remembering, you know, these human moments with Mark and like being proud of him, and like celebrating like
that
with him
scene?
and Debbie, just to cut, you know, immediately into like, I beat him to a bloody pulp, and he's just telling me like
Mark smiling as a buck-toothed little kid to that.
And you've done that. And he looks at his hands, the blood on his hands, and he abandons his mission. He leaves.
And you see the
he
tear.
leaves Earth.
The tear falling.
Yeah.
As he does. And that to me is like, again, I just think that's really cool. Invincible turned a trope that I've never enjoyed into something better. And I think that Robert Kirkman and just like what they're doing with Invincible in general should be applauded, because we are in such a weird spot with superhero media where I think everyone wants edge on it. Everyone's like, oh, we've done the same thing for so long and it's so stale. And it's like, you got to put some edge on it, or superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue is bullshit, right? We don't have superhero fatigue. We have bad movie fatigue. We have taking the same trope and just beating it to death fatigue. When you write a good story, there is no superhero fatigue. Because it's just all plot devices. You know, a superhero is nothing more than a guy with a really big gun, right? And in the actuality of things. So it doesn't change anything, right? Whether your characters are superheroes or not, if it's a great story. And I think that's what Invincible really does very well, is that first season turns all of the tropes that people complain that are getting stale and takes them, revitalizes them, and gives it to us in a great way. Because again, Mark totally different, totally kind of odd origin story in that like his parents know he's gonna have powers and are supportive of him in becoming a superhero. You know, he meets other superheroes his age. You know, the secret identity thing is still in play, but he's obviously getting personable with these other superheroes, and such a tight-knit, like, kind of like, I would almost compare it to like pro wrestling, right? Where it's like superheroes in the Invincible universe know of each other and talk to each other in the same way that like wrestlers do, where they kind of have to like keep up a reputation. You know, social media is a big thing, and like you kind of get that with Adam Eve's character a little bit.
I love pretty much all the other like side heroes that we have in Invincible, because like beyond like the main conflict of like, you know, Mark at the end trying to stop his dad, you have, I think, a bunch of really cool characters. And Robot, I'm back and forth on like Rex. I don't know if I like Rex or not.
Yeah.
Duplicate, I think she's cool. I'm under constant stress every time that she is in battle. Yeah. Because I swear to God, she makes one clone, nixed. 1 second later. And she barely makes a clone before her next one dies. And I'm like, brother, if it's me and I'm Duplicate, I leave one of me in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Permanently. And the other ones can go do my stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Robot, you have, like, you know, other ones that pop up, like Black Samson, who kind of has, you know, like a bit of like a conflict with like Rex and them initially. But they're mostly in a good spot with each other by the end of the season.
Season 1 ends really great.
Yeah, like other highlight characters, like,
Alan.
Alan. Dude, Alan, I hope I get to see more of him, because like he got to meet like Mark there, and you know, in the final episode, it's like, hey, dude, there's a Viltrumite on your planet. It's like, about that.
That was a great way to wrap up the season.
Even the non-supers, like Debbie, Debbie's awesome.
Cecil is,
dude, yeah.
I've said this. Cecil is probably my favorite character.
From what I saw of the show,
aside from, I love Nolan. I have the forethought to know what's coming with his character. And again, the trope that I hate in Evil Superman, seeing it twisted further to make something cool out of it. I love Omni-Man. I think it's cool.
Cecil was not a character I thought I would like, because from a lot of stuff I saw before I watched,
but he's great.
He looks like he'd be kind of an antagonist.
But he's great. And
just like boss, you know, GDA character. But instead, he's just a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Cecil, it feels like he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Largely, he knows what he's doing.
I think it turns the trope of, like, the government agent that, like, let's reference, like, Commander or Colonel Ross from The Incredible Hulk, right? Like, the government-affiliated, like, commander that, like, you think his entire motivation is just going to be for the sake of, like, either his career, or he thinks in terms of only raw power and just trying to get the job done. But Cecil, his main motivation is saving the most people possible.
And he's ballsy, too. He got out in the field. Like, Omni-Man was flying to go find Mark and Eve, and he was out there doing, like, teleport blitzing on him. He was out there. He was risking his life. He got his, like, tie, like, ripped off.
Just to buy more time.
Yeah, he was just buying time. So he's really cool. You know, like, Debbie, like I was saying. Great. Amazing mom.
Great.
Like, almost, like, the first time that Mark gets, like, a little bit of edge after getting his powers, and she's just like, Mark, go to bed. And he's like, make me. And she's like...
She puts him in his place.
Does that make you feel powerful? Yeah. Knowing that I physically can't make you do that?
Yeah. Puts him in his place immediately.
Debbie, take no shit, Grayson.
Yeah, she's great.
She's the GOAT. I love William, Mark's friend. Yeah, I love his spot in there.
The scene where Mark is, like, telling him about, like, his troubles, and, like, they're, like, waiting outside the cheeseburger place, and William's like, bro, shut the fuck up. He hits him with, like, some hard truth. That was cool.
Amber is a character who I knew of before I watched the show, because people talk about Amber. People hate Amber.
Overhated. But I don't like it.
I get it, because for really the early part of the season, it is the role I thought she was going to be in. Yeah. Of, like... It's like you're leaving me all the time.
Providing the drama for Mark's
you're always like missing when you need to be there. But then we find out, like, later in the season, she knows Mark is invincible.
That was the dumbest shit.
And it's just like, I don't know what if Amber will even, like, return in season 2.
That was
but out of season 1, it's just like, They mostly did the thing I felt like they were going to end up doing with it.
She just provides the stereotypical secret life foil for Mark.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the thing that's kind of annoying is I think we all, like, again, it's another one of those tropes that people say they're tired of, with, like, the double life for the superhero leading to, like, romantic woes. So what does Robert Kirkman and the Invincible series try to do? They try and twist that by being like, well, actually, Amber's smart enough that she already figured it out.
She's upset that Mark was not telling her about it.
But I just hate that, actually. I just think that makes her even more annoying. Because at least in the, case of, like, Mary Jane with Spider-Man, in her ignorance of not knowing he's Spider-Man, she can literally say, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why are you missing my shit? You said you would be here tonight. This is my biggest performance. You should have been here. And then you feel bad for her because she deserves someone that will be there. With Amber, it's like, bitch, you knew he's dying out there. He's getting his shit right.
And I was like, Shelby and I are watching like the last episode, and like it's basically being like shown like on television, of Omni-Man just beating him like to death.
Yep.
And Amber's just like sat there in bed, like watching, all horrified. I'm like, I bet you feel real bad about being an asshole like an hour ago.
Yeah.
You were talking to him not an hour ago.
Yeah, you were saying all that shit earlier, and now it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, like on the whole, season 1 of Invincible was awesome, and I'm gonna get to watching like more of it, like ASAP, because I know there's like epic stuff ahead.
I gotta
like mainly like I want to see like the stuff with Conquest. I want to see more stuff like just with the Viltrumites in general. I mean, I know that like Mark and Eve become a thing later on.
Yeah.
I don't know when that is, but I really like both of them, which I'm glad about.
I love Eve. Yeah. Her powers are just really cool. I think that's another thing, and not even to really extend this any further, but just the powers, all of it. The design.
She feels very like.
That's great.
I'm a big like Ben 10 guy. She feels so like Gwen Tennyson, in like the Alien Force, like Ultimate Alien, when she's got her powers. Like obviously it's pink magic and she's a redhead, so there's a bit of that there.
Yeah.
But they do like
just
a bit.
Design.
They do a bit of like the disc like shield stuff. So
her relationship with her parents is also cool. Like that's she has a great storyline going for her. A lot of the characters are just deep and interesting, and it feels like a good world. And I gotta say, like, that season 1 is a 10 out of, like, if you haven't watched it, it's a 10 out of 10.
As far as some of the antagonists go, I love the Mauler twins. I hope that they will continue to just be recurring, because the Mauler twins have been funny with just like the I'm not the clone, you're the clone bit.
The show is so quotable. It's so quotable.
Dude, yeah, it's ever since we watched it, every possible opportunity, I'm just hitting Shelby with the Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Or there's like this TikTok that was going around, this guy who sounds like Omni-Man with like the get a bite of your Frosty.
Yeah, dude.
Anytime I can. Or where's Mark William?
And it's technically a misquote, but the Think Mark Think meme was huge.
Think Mark! Yeah,
that was huge.
What will you have in 500 years?
Yeah.
You, Dad. I'll have you.
Damn.
Dude.
Tough.
And that just brought it all down.
So, like, give me a out of 10. For me, it's a 10. Like,
it's an easy 10 for me.
Yeah, I think if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
If I had to give it, like, any negs at all to make it, like, a 9, I guess it would just be, like, kind of being annoyed at, like, the Amber plot throughout it.
I have no qualms about the story. Honestly, my big qualm is that Amazon Prime pushes The Boys over Invincible. Invincible is your biggest show. I'm glad The Boys is over.
And it's so, like...
I'm glad The Boys is over.
Me taking so long to get into the show is surprising anyhow, because I love The Walking Dead, which is a Robert Kirkman thing. Yeah. And I only learned this, like, last week.
You didn't even know.
Invincible, like, I believe this is what it was. The Invincible comic started 6 months before The Walking Dead comic.
It's
so old.
It's old.
And I've only seen, like, since then that, like, there's a scene...
I'm glad he's getting
in season, like, 6 of The Walking Dead that Carl is reading an Invincible comic book.
Yeah. I'm glad it's getting the success that it so rightfully deserves. I obviously didn't know about it before the show, like a lot of people.
It makes me curious as to, like, what happened to make them want to go and animate Invincible all of a sudden.
I think
because apparently it's been over for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I know Seth Rogen has been really tapped in with like Amazon Prime. I think he was a big proponent for how The Boys got off the ground. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what was up. I wonder if maybe Seth Rogen had something to do with Invincible getting off the ground. But if so, cool. Thanks, Seth Rogen. Maybe not for The Boys, because The Boys fucking sucks. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoy Invincible. It's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully now.
Since then, Shelby really wanted to get the Invincible versus game. That's so peak.
The game's fun.
There's some characters I don't know in there.
I saw a lot of people complain about how short the story was, but like clearly these people.
It felt like watching an episode.
Yeah, and I think that's all it's meant to be. Is just a digestible, cool little thing. But like, I think that people fucking forget all the time that fighting games have short as fuck stories, like all the time. It's not really surprising. Like I remember when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, and everybody was like, "Why is the story so short? It's not like all these other." It's a fighting game, bro. Like, if you're not totally dog shit ass,
yeah, it's an arcade fighter.
You're just gonna run through this.
Which I didn't.
Quick.
I initially didn't have. I was like, I don't know what this Invincible game, like fighting type arcade game, is gonna look like, but it's so peak.
It's good.
We
awesome.
played through the story. Shelby and I,
like just visually, they did a great job.
I think a lot of the super attacks are really cool. I like how personalized everything is.
It sucks that they couldn't get all the voice actors from the show.
But
the ones that they got to do the work sound pretty good. Especially the guy that does Mark. That's like 1-to-1.
Even though I haven't, like, I've seen clips of Conquest from the later seasons, just because
don't like his voice in the game.
Yeah, it's so, and it's because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's just doing his Negan voice.
Yeah,
is so iconic. And honestly, the stuff that I've seen with Conquest made me start Invincible. Mm-hmm. So starting Invincible off the back of Glenn and Negan from The Walking Dead, and like Mark's voice, thankfully, very similar, like you said.
It's more jarring how different Conquest is because of how similar Mark's is. Mark's is so 1-to-1 that Conquest being so far off is like, what?
Yeah.
But great game, super cool, really shocking, no Guardians of the Globe. I was telling Bryce, I think there'll be a DLC.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just if for nothing else, like, I think it'd be funny to get the Immortal just being like, where is Omni-Man? Dude, so good.
Like his line coming in would be funny. I'd love the Mauler twins just to be in there too, because you could have their supers working like a tag team type of thing. Mm-hmm. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Great game.
So yeah, game is good. Invincible Season 1, so peak, rocked. I'm just ready to watch more of it.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I actually I'm buying the whole set of the comics because I thought it'd be cool to check them out.
Nice.
So thanks for sitting with us, chilling out, checking it all out. Today, obviously, we talked about Hulk. We talked about our Random Ranks Invincible. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Iron Man 2. That's the next movie.
I'm excited after that first one to return back to Iron Man because that first one was so good.
Palate cleanser after watching shit-ass Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So if you've watched the whole episode so far, thank you, of course. The last 2 episodes were a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. Whatever day you're watching this on, if it's release day, check us the next day for the Iron Man 2 trailer reaction.
Yeah.
And please check out our other socials and stuff. Instagram, TikTok. We're posting YouTube shorts, of course, too. But this episode we probably had 1 too many takes.
1 too many opinions. 1 too many voices.
And we're going to go for 1 too many episodes.